Thompson less money than Draymond Green makes?
No, you can't. You can't. And I think you may have already done that. If the 2 for 28, if my math, shout out James Logan, is correct, Steiny, that would have came in under that, right?
I mean,
that would have started resentment for me. I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just telling you how the goo would feel. And I went third person.
Draymond Green's got 2 more years and a player option. Won't it just take 2 more years from Klay and then a player option for his 3rd year?
You would think.
I mean, who's more valuable, Klay or Draymond? And if it's Draymond, well, then how much more valuable is Draymond than Klay? And is that okay to not pay Klay as much as Draymond because Klay made more over the course of his career? I don't know, but I do know this. Of all the things that Steve Kerr said, this is the one that hit me.
Personally, I don't think it makes sense to have a massive payroll right now with our team. It just doesn't. You know, to spend that kind of money, and Joe has been incredibly generous and so aggressive and really attacking, looking for championships. But at some point, you can't spend this much money for a team that didn't make the playoffs. So we have a lot of decisions to make and a lot of questions to answer. So those things are all kind of thrown into the pot, and you have to figure it out.
So they're cutting payroll.
Wow.
Essentially. By the way, we have a super chat from
what we got?
Who's it from? Who's
you got your glasses on?
It's from Rich Mitchman.
Hey.
I'm just saying it is. Rich Mitchman is paying $1.99, and he says trade Kuminga and do not overpay Klay Thompson.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to see Kuminga in another uniform, Steiny, but that man, along with something else, because you'd have to dress it up, that man could fetch you something. That's a right on the table. We all know. Now what? I don't know.
We'll see.
But if I got to do this, I mean, if I'm Steve Kerr and I only got 2 more years here and it's not my money the owner's spending and I'm going to be judged on how this team does, I don't think I'm telling and there's more power to him for being real. I don't think I'm telling my owner on a radio station it doesn't make sense to invest in the team. I'd probably be like, yeah, spend and keep spending. You do that when I'm out of here, whenever that day does come.
Well, I
was driving around listening to that, and I got to be honest, Donnie, I felt like Kerr was saying, we're not close.
They're not. They're not. I don't know if you know this. The playoffs start this weekend, and the Warriors won't be in it.
Saturday. Dude. What did I said $400 million payroll. Dibs said it was about 380, 385. There's still 400, and your team didn't qualify. Like nobody's coming at Joe Lacob, Steiny. It's about family. It's about the big 3.
You know what? You know what? I'm going to do this just to get into it. Just to get into a debate. Yeah. Do you realize the first thing you just said there?
Give it to him.
It's about family. If it's about family, pay Klay, and there's nothing to see here.
I want to hug you.
Okay, well, it's not about family anymore. You can't.
Well, we're about to find. Why would you say that?
If they find a number for Klay to come back on, it's because they like the number and they think it makes him better. You're like.
You don't think any part of that money would be? Because I believe Dre's.
So let me just get this straight.
Come on, man.
You're just coming to the conclusion, oh, my God, we're not even a playoff team. But you want to keep everything together.
I told you I think this team's a playoff team.
Okay.
They didn't make it this year.
So then you want to pay Klay $25 million a year to keep him around.
Well, no, that's why I brought up family. It's the right thing to do.
No, it's not.
Well,
I mean, there's not a right decision and a wrong decision with Klay. Was it the right thing to do to extend Draymond Green? I think you get half and half. Yeah. So,
but half of I believe the owner.
You know what? But no,
answer to that question was he wanted to see Dre retire in a Warrior uniform.
Great. Okay.
So do you think that does not apply to Klay Thompson?
I do not think it applies to Klay Thompson.
What if I told you the ball's in Klay's court? That's all I guess I'm trying to say.
Not for $15 million. It's not.
No.
I got family.
That's awesome.
Like they're
not going to offer him to lowball him like that. That's all I'm saying.
He thinks they lowballed him already, or he wouldn't have, or he would have taken the contract. And you know what? You're making it clear that you're not ready, and that's fine.
Now, when you say I'm not ready for what?
Steiny, it's all about family. Okay. Well, then we know what we're doing. We're getting Klay back here.
When it comes to those three, I believe it's coming. And
all right.
So, real quick.
And you know what? If you want me to say it, I'll say it. That's not the best thing for the Warriors. It's not the best thing for the Warriors.
And if you said that, I wouldn't fight you. Okay. But you don't find it odd.
So you still want to pay guys. You want to pay guys for what they've done in the past.
I'm telling you, Steiny, look around and read the room. Kerr said after they lost and they're bleeding, we need Klay back.
Right.
Curry said it. Dre said it. Now, it may not happen, but I believe at this point it's going to happen, Steiny. Nope. That's all.
Okay. And it might not be for the right. If you're signing him, because
but that was with Dre. I met you halfway on Dre.
It's a year later. Like, that's what I'm saying. Everything's changed. You thought they were a championship team 2 days ago. Now you realize they're not. So now we're operating under different circumstances. Like, that's the middle ground. I can't make it any more clear. This is the way I think. Yeah. They won a title. They re-signed Wiggins. They re-signed Jordan Poole. Yeah. Why? Well, because we won a title. Okay. You went through last year. You won 44 games. Yeah. Right. But guess what? They looked in the mirror, Joe and everybody else, and said, we still think we can win a title. Okay. Go sign Draymond for $100 million. And what I'm telling you is, so now another year's gone by. If Joe Lacob looks in the mirror and says, we still are a championship contender, then go re-sign Klay for whatever it takes. But I don't believe anybody believes that. And if you listen to Steve Kerr, it sounds like he's bracing for big changes, whatever they may be. Yeah. You want to just pay Klay?
No, I'm under the realization that Klay's money, if you don't pay him, you can go get another superstar with that money. I'm just telling you, Steiny, if Steve Kerr is telling us we're just an average team or it's going to be some down times here, they would rather do that with Klay Thompson around. That's what I'm reading.
Do you allow for the fact that having Klay Thompson around may prevent you from transitioning into something new? Just the mere fact he's here.
Yeah.
I do. I
still believe with again, 0 for 10 was 0 for 10, but I can look past that, Steiny. I still think he brings something to the table.
A championship level?
No, I don't. That's bigger than him. That shouldn't just be at his doorstep.
So it's not about championships anymore. And I'm all for that.
Apparently not. They didn't make it this year.
Okay, well then why?
And the coach is talking about bringing Klay back, so is Curry, and so is Dre.
All right.
But then on the other hand, we hear big changes. So I don't know what it is. I'm just telling you I want Klay in a Warrior uniform. I think he does more for you than Draymond Green. That's just me. And Dre, I know you're going to say, Goo, it was a year later, but I don't think they're going to say, I don't think Lacob's going to say, damn it, I gave Evan that money, and now I got to pay Steiny, and we didn't make the playoffs a year after. Right, and that's why I think that's not going to happen. They've never shown tough love. They've never, you know what I mean? Klay is going to come back if he wants to come back.
I don't know.
Yeah.
D's in D.C. What's up, D? How you doing?
Sinatra, Steiny. What's up, brother? What's up, Goo Goo?
What's up, baby, Sinatra? Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm depressed. I'm depressed about what happened to the Warriors, but however, it was predicted. I mean, we're too small going into the season, too old, just to agree with Steiny, and then we were not good enough. That's number 3. Moving forward, a lot of the blame must be placed at the feet of, I would say, Lacob as well as Kerr, because after the punch, Draymond should have never been re-signed, right?
Man.
Moving forward, we need to find a way to get rid of that dude, man, because of him, he's keeping a lot of free agents away from the Warriors. You guys are not addressing that. However, Draymond is the hindrance that will continue to be a thorn in the tail of the Warriors until they get rid of him, right? That's it. Get rid of him in any way possible. Just if you have to package him with JK, do it. If you have to package him with whoever you have to package him with, do it because Draymond is the problem. And I blame Lacob and Kerr for that. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, D.
That's a little heavy, though, don't we think, Steiny?
No.
Saying that Dre's I agree with him. He shouldn't have came back. I was an advocate. But we don't know if guys are staying away yet because of Dre.
Mm-hmm. Would you want to play with him?
No, I already told you. No.
Okay. Well,
and we got one more super chat, $9.99. Miguel, Kerr is more concerned with being besties with the core than developing young guys. Remember last season when he overplayed Lamb and Ty? He hasn't learned. Would have loved Udoka accountability with Kerr. It's amazing how people could see one thing and just have, we're all different.
I got a buddy, Jason, who texted me this yesterday, and it's right on the money, and you need to listen to this. Warrior fans need to accept the fact that we are now in a period where our ceiling is being competitive as we transition out of the big three. We need to understand, I'll say it again, that our ceiling right now is to be competitive as we transition out of the big three. We don't have the stomach to trade Steph, so the best case scenario is we develop into the next core.
But we don't know if the core they have now, I'm not even mad at that, is superstar worthy.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So you're saying you need to find that out.
So you would rather go with an old core that has proven the last couple years it can't get it done, as opposed to giving the four young players more run to see how good they might be in 3 years.
I just don't think it works like that.
How does it work?
When you say old core, the guy that leads that old core, his name is Steph Curry.
Right.
Still can play to me.
Right.
Okay.
At a competitive level. That's it. That's it.
But
their ceiling is competitiveness.
But Steiny,
sorry. We've seen it for 2 years.
You don't have surefire, and I'll just say Pods, TJD, and Kuminga.
Okay.
You don't know. You don't like that.
So in other words,
their intrigueness, that ain't gonna supersede Kerr and Dre, and Klay playing. Okay. That's all.
So that's
unrealistic. Okay.
And I'll tell you what's more unreal. Like, do I think this four young player core is superstar championship? Yeah. No, I don't. But I also don't know what they're going to be in 3 years. I know what Steph is. I know what Draymond is, and I know what Klay is.
So what?
And they're not good enough anymore to get it done.
So what should So you're saying
let Klay walk, let Chris Paul walk, get a couple guys in here under the cap if you can. If you can trade Wiggins, and you run next year and you say Trace Jackson-Davis is our starting center. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be a starting forward. Pods is going to be either a starter or a sixth or seventh man. Can we get it? Like, there it is. But you know what? That's not good enough, even though it may be better than what was this past year.
Now, when you say to who, though? Who for the fans, that might not be good enough? When you say that might not be good enough? Because
agree with this.
What's the goal?
I agree with this statement.
Because where are you if we find out?
We need I agree with this statement. We need to accept the fact that we're now in a period where the ceiling is we want to be competitive in the transition. That's the ceiling. Not we can win. You can't win a title if you're in transition.
Yeah, but Steiny, Michael Jackson is still Steph. They're coming out. We're coming out to see him.
Okay. Do you not account for the fact that you missed the playoffs 3 of the last 5 years? Like, if you bring the same team back, you may miss the playoffs for the 4th time in 6 years. You'd rather do that than open up more playing time for the young guys? Didn't the young guys prove this year that they could elevate you?
I would say, and where did that get us?
So
I rest my case.
Where did it get you?
Yeah.
It got you 46 wins as opposed to a team that might have only, if Pods and those guys don't show up on the...
it's no shade at those guys. It just feels like you're ready to...
Yes, I am ready.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still are thinking that this team can capture something and win a title.
I mean, 3 days ago, Steiny, you and I had a stellar conversation about, had Draymond not got suspended, you could see how somebody could be thinking maybe this team was a 4th or 5th seed. And now it sounds like you're ready to flood. No.
Did it look like a 4th or 5th?
No,
okay.
that.
I never thought it was a 4th or 5th seed.
That was one game. And for anybody thinking that, okay, that was one bad game. But are you going to let one bad?
You can take one bad game, or you could take the whole season. I don't care what you take.
Yeah.
Like, you want to use one bad game to move off the core? I would say go ahead. If you want to use the whole season to move off a core, like, go ahead. If you want to use 27 and 12 to stay on the core and give it another shot,
and maybe enhance it somehow.
Go ahead.
With the trade.
Good luck. You know? How's it worked out the last 2 years? I mean, to me, bringing Klay back and just having those 3 guys be the centerpiece of next year.
I just think that's the leader in the clubhouse right now. I could be totally wrong.
You know what? What if I said, like, I wonder if there are any fans out there, that would piss me off, actually.
Man, I would love to hear from them.
That would piss me off. Everything I'm hearing from the whole team is we're not good enough, but you're going to bring back the same core. Like, that to me is, you can't do that.
Yeah, that was
you at least have to say.
By Kerr, Steiny. It was real, but, like, do we know if that's what he was saying? Like, I couldn't believe he said it.
Said what?
Like, you're spending too much money on this team as it is currently constructed, and they 385.
They've said that forever. Like Joe Lacob said forever. If we're not a title team, I ain't spending $400 million.
But that doesn't mean you can't facilitate a trade.